explain to us all about what's available in the welfare state, if you like, of the union. And I'd like you to feel easy to say what you like and express yourself. That's you. Okay, Julie, thank you.
Thank you, Jake. Thanks for that kind introduction. First of all, it's just so lovely to see so many people here. I was not expecting this to be such a busy branch meeting, so it's really nice to see so many faces. I won't take up too much of your time. It sounds like you've got a very healthily packed agenda. So I'll just really be a few minutes. But so I'm Julie Harris, and I'm from Allan McDougall Solicitors. And Allan McDougall is the panel law firm for your branch of Unite. So most of you will probably be aware that every branch is affiliated with a particular law firm. And through your membership of Unite, you have the benefits of the Unite legal scheme, and if you have a legal issue on which you require representation or advice, and it's something that is covered by the scheme, then as a member of this branch you would automatically come to Allan McDougall, and that referral would come through Unite. So we are going around as many branches as we can, really just to try and raise awareness of the scheme, because there's quite a lot about the cover that is not always widely known, and it's important that you're aware of your entitlement to representation. So I'm just going to quickly take you through the scheme, and just to let you know how it works. And I've left a flyer here for you all to take away, and that just is bullet points. It takes you through the scheme as well. So the first thing I'm going to take you through is the personal injury scheme. So you will all see lots of adverts for personal injury claims, and you'll hear them on the radio as well. What is very important for all Unite members to remember is that these adverts should not speak to you, because you are covered for personal injury cases through your union membership. So any circumstances in which you may sustain injury, and which weren't obviously your own fault, then you would come through Unite, and you would be entitled to full legal representation for a case to be dealt with right from the beginning to the end, and that is all at zero cost to you as a member. So in this day and age, if you go out with the union scheme for that sort of scenario, you will nearly always pay a percentage, and it can be really quite eye-watering amounts of money that can be paid out at the end of a successful claim if you don't go through the Unite scheme. So this covers you for circumstances such as, road traffic accidents, just incidents when you're out and about, slips, trips. If any of you are cyclists, cycle accidents, you're also covered for medical negligence situations. And I appreciate this is a retired members branch, but you are covered for injuries that are work related. Now, you have a period of 3 years from the date of an accident in which to pursue a claim, although the sooner the better, because of the way the whole thing works. But sometimes you'll have situations where you don't even realise until you've finished work that you have sustained injury through your work. So for example, hearing loss or hand-arm vibration syndrome, and probably the most obvious example is asbestos-related conditions. So you may have been negligently exposed to some hazard during the course of your employment, you're oblivious to it at the time, and you don't realise till you're retired that you have suffered injury through it. For that situation and pursuing a case, you are completely covered through your union membership, and you would have Unite refer the case, it would come to us as your panel firm, and that would be pursued. Now, something that just isn't widely known at all is that your whole family are also covered through the personal injury scheme. Now, they are not covered for work-related accidents or injuries. Only Unite members are covered for those cases. But if any of your family members were to be involved in a road accident, suffering injury, any sort of accident out and about, or think that they may have received negligent medical treatment and possibly have a medical negligence case, by virtue of your membership, they are completely covered. So the extent of the personal injury scheme is actually vast, and it isn't just so widely appreciated. And, you know, it's not something that we like to think about. When you haven't experienced an injury, you don't really want to think about it too much or pay too much attention to where you might go for advice in that situation. But it's so important that if it does happen to you or somebody in your family, that you go down the route of your union, because otherwise, as I say, the cost can be quite eye-watering. Obviously, you know, Unite being Britain's biggest trade union, they will only be instructing very experienced and specialist firms on their panel. So the solicitor that would be dealing with your personal injury claim will be from a Scottish firm. You know, whether you're in this branch with Allan McDougall, whether you're in another branch with a different panel firm, you can rest assured that it's high-level representation lawyers that are very respected by the courts and other firms throughout Scotland, etc. So also just taking you on to other elements of the scheme. So hopefully you're aware that there is a free wills service through Unite. So every member is entitled to have a free will drawn up. And you'll probably also be aware that these days it's highly recommended that a power of attorney is prepared at the same time. So through the union scheme, these are provided on very reduced rates, and these are agreed with Unite, and it's the same for all their panel firms in Scotland, so that there's an equal, an even playing field. So the agreed rates for a power of attorney to be drawn up, for an individual it is £250. On top of that, however, there is VAT, and then there is also something called a registration fee. So the VAT is £50, your 20%, and your registration fee is £96. So for an individual to have a power of attorney drawn up through the Unite lawyers is a total of £396. So that's including those outlays, as we call them. For a joint power of attorney, the agreed fee is £400, and then VAT on that is £80, and the registration fee that we have to pay is £192. So it's a total of £672 for a joint power of attorney. And my understanding is that that's roughly about half of what you would probably be quoted by a non-Unite firm. The final element of the scheme that I want to mention is just known as the free legal advice scheme. So again, just by virtue of being a Unite member, you're entitled to initial free advice on any legal matter. And it's really just an initial steer that would normally be given, and it could be any legal situation. If the matter on which you wish advice is something that the panel firm have a team that deal with and they can then take on your case. So for talking's sake, if there's an issue regarding a family situation, either separation issue regarding the care of children, for example, through the free legal advice scheme, you would be entitled to a free initial consultation on that. However, if you thought, well, I think I want to do something further and advance a full case on this, then the Unite panel firm would charge you reduced rates because you're a Unite member. So that would be known at the outset and they would quote to you. So for example, if this was our family law team, they would quote to you in the knowledge that you're a Unite member, and the quote you would receive would be reduced compared with a non-Unite member, because we are, panel firm for you. So that's just a kind of whistle-stop tour of the scheme that's provided by Unite. It really is a fantastic scheme. In particular, the personal injury service. It's without union membership these days, you just do not see personal injury claims being dealt with other than at high cost to an individual. So it is, really fantastic doing the Unite work and seeing, every case that we resolve, when that settlement comes in, it goes straight out to our client with zero deduction, and that is, marked contrast with the situation for, non-union personal injury work. So that's just a little tour, as I say, of the scheme and how it works. And if I can clarify anything or answer any questions, I'd be very happy to do so.
Yeah,
thank you.
Sorry.
Very thankful for that.
No problem.
You may think it was short and sweet, but it's covered all the points we want to know. But anyway, Dave, in you come.
No, it was just that you mentioned 396. What is that? Is that per year or what is it?
So that's for a power of attorney to be drafted, and that's a one-off document.
It's a one-off.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Right.
You talk about the power of attorney there. That we also have, everything works, Dave. We've got one of your colleagues, Dot Mullally.
Yes, that's right.
You came along to see us some 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes.
And a lot of people did take it up.
Yes, great. Yeah.
Are we got her again?
Yes, she's
What's the
coming.
22nd of January.
That's it.
Great.
Coming in January.
Great.
So I'll mention
Dot,
mention
she
later.
is head of the team that deals with wills, power of attorney, what we refer to as private client matters. So anything surrounding, death, dealing with your affairs, planning for these situations. She's head of the team that deals with that. So that's great that she's coming in
A
January.
few hands up, yes.
I know you have premises in Edinburgh.
Yes.
You have premises in Glasgow.
So we would come here.
Or you come here.
Yes, so
but you came here once for me, and then I had to go to Edinburgh for you.
Was that maybe, might have been for a meeting with an advocate, or?
I don't know. I had to go there anyway.
Yeah.
But you came here at first, then I had to go there.
Yes,
Edinburgh
yeah.
That's all I was wanting.
Yes, no, we can book rooms here and we would see members here. And obviously in certain circumstances we do home visits as well. Yeah.
Linda.
Oh, thanks. A couple of questions.
Sure.
First one was the free legal advice. I know all solicitors give that initial free legal advice.
Often, yes.
Is yours any different to that?
Well, I suppose I would say that not all solicitors will, because there isn't an obligation to. Whereas through the Unite scheme, there is an obligation, and the referral would come to us through Unite, and there's an obligation there. And obviously we have an excellent relationship with Unite. and we want to maintain that. So there's very much a real invested interest in wanting to make sure that you will get
so
that.
It's similar to ones that would. That's absolutely fine. But the other question I wanted to ask, I've got a power of attorney from my mother,
Okay.
who's now passed. Can I just replicate that? Literally change the obvious things in it, and then send that off to the powers that be, the guardian people.
So that would, individual questions like that about individual circumstances, something I can't really
I mean, in general, is
answer
that
today.
in general?
But that's something that Dot could probably give you more of a steer on when she comes in January.
Is that not a general question?
No,
in the
not.
sense,
It's really in relation to your own circumstances. It's
no,
not.
I don't mean that. I mean, if anybody here in this room has got a power of attorney
Yeah.
for a relative, a mother or a father,
Yeah.
is there any reason why they cannot replicate that by just changing, the obvious
Linda,
things
sorry.
and then send it off?
Linda, you can't do that.
No.
No, you can't. What happens is, I had a power of attorney for my wife, and my daughter had the power of attorney, and my wife had a power of attorney with me. So when she passed away, that power of attorney ceased. And then if, say, Karen wanted to take out a power of attorney for herself, she can't just scribble it out and send it back. She's got to go and seek a lawyer and do it through a lawyer, and then it goes to the registration.
One thing's a certainty, that you've asked the question and we've only got to January to maybe get the right answer, because I'm not in a position to take your word that that's genuine, because it's not the lawyer, and it's only the lawyer I could deal with in putting these things to the branch. And I don't mean that in a bad way or anyway.
That's fine.
But that's it. Yes, you wanted to come in, sir.
Sorry, John. See, when you say family covered, how far down the ladder does that go?
Yeah, no, that's a good question, and I'm asked this for probably every branch meeting. So there is no specific definition, but my experience, having done this for decades now, is that Unite interpret the term loosely. So you would ask Unite in the first instance. So say, for example, a member of your family, and you might think, well, this might be too far removed, has been injured. You would ask your Unite local office, and they would then have the yes or no on whether to pass that through to us. But certainly my experience is, we receive personal injury referrals for certainly grandchildren, nephews, nieces, in-laws. So it's widely interpreted. Certainly other unions I know may regard it as members of the same household, for example, but that is not the situation with Unite. It's really far-reaching, the extent of the family law personal injury scheme.
Thank you. Willie?
Willie Oswald. But first, apologies for lateness. My question was exactly the same as the colleague at the end.
Okay. Shug?
Just to see if there's a point of contact with Unite, or would it be with yourself?
So you can do it through a number of ways. So if for any legal scenario, you can either go through your rep and ask for a case to be referred to us that way. You can phone your local office here, or you will all have your membership card, and there's a number on the back of that as well. So any of these avenues will result in the referral coming to us.
So that number would be the point
It's
of
fine as
contact
well.
initially.
Yeah. So you can use that number. You can call John Smith House, or you can speak to your rep, who will would go through one of these channels. And the way it comes to us is Unite run a big portal, and every day we check that for new referrals coming through. Yeah.
Bernie?
Sort of covered one of the points. The other point I'd like to ask is for clarification. If I wish to change my will or my any other document, is there additional costs for that?
As I understand it, there would be, yes, but that would be, that you would be advised of that on an individual basis, and then it would be up to you whether you want to do that or not.
So it's open, basically.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Ken?
Yes, Chair, can you hear me all right? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, just two issues. A few years ago I benefited from a personal injury claim via the union and got a very satisfactory settlement with no deductions whatsoever because the union processed it. On that occasion it was Thompson's, a Glasgow-based practice. You said that the branch has a sort of recommended practice. Is there one in Glasgow specifically allocated to the Glasgow retired branch?
Yes, so that is Allan McDougall Solicitors. So it might have been when you were working, you were in a different branch, and your branch then may have been allocated to Thompson's.
No, so, I was retired at the time.
Right, okay. So maybe at that point, this branch was connected with Thompson's. That could well be the case. Because there can be a slight change every so often where Unite connect each branch with a panel firm, and that can change slightly from time to time. So if we were to look at the branch list and panel firms maybe 10 years ago, that could look a bit different from that same branch list and list of panel firms now. So, but the important thing is going through Unite. And Unite will refer the case to the panel firm, and by virtue of going through Unite, you get your personal injury claim with no deductions, or these reduced rates for the elements. Yeah.
And what Glasgow firm is that at present?
So we are Allan McDougall. Our head office is in Edinburgh, but we cover cases for the whole of Scotland.
Okay, Ken, thanks.
Thanks for that, Chair.
Irene, last speaker. Okay, in you come.
So, if someone wanted a free will, you would phone the office to set it up, and you would come here to meet them, or is it?
So, if a free will referral would come through that same portal, and the member would receive individual contact then from the solicitor. So that first contact would probably be by email or thereabouts, and then there would be discussion after that. Now, I hope I'm not wrong on this, but it used to be the case that there had to be a face-to-face meeting with a solicitor to have a will drawn up. But as a result of the pandemic, the Law Society of Scotland had to change certain rules regarding face-to-face meetings, obviously. And as I understand it, that was one thing that was changed. So that requirement, as far as I'm aware, was withdrawn, which has made things kind of simpler, I suppose, in terms of access to solicitors, especially for someone who isn't, able-bodied and whatnot. But that the referral comes through in the first instance.
The reason I'm asking is that some of our members are not on email.
Yes.
And so therefore email wouldn't work.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there was a report at the National Committee of the retired members that some of the law firms were only doing online wills, and obviously that wouldn't suit anyone who doesn't have email and who doesn't have
absolutely,
access.
yes. Yeah.
So just to get reassured that anyone who's not online could still request a face-to-face.
Yeah, that's right.
And you would come here.
Yeah, and obviously it would be apparent as soon as the referral comes through, if there's no email address on it, then it's clear that that isn't an option. So yeah, yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say on that part, Irene, when I got my own free will, I went to Pennycook.
Oh yeah.
Only because I wanted to go to Pennycook.
Yeah.
I hadn't been there for years. And it was a nice day, and I'm being quite honest with you. Someone like yourself is going to come here. Someone said I could go to Edinburgh, but there's also Pennycook. Well, that'll do me fine, and that's where I went. So I'm just saying to you that you want to do it in Pennycook. It was one of the best Chinese meals I've had for a while. Anyway,
certainly not expected.
But anyway,
you'll realise my chairman's a right chanter.
But anyway, I want to thank you for coming, because I know the questions that were asked. We could be all here all day, by the way, and you would be here at 5 o'clock, and I'm going to be funny, there'll be questions. But unfortunately, we've got our branch to run. You've got to carry on with your business. But I'd like to thank you, Julie, for
No problem.
coming along.
It's lovely to meet you.
All the best.
Thank you very much.